Hi everyone, Sweatthany Hot Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it is time for a review of the new Haim album, Women in Music Part 3. What you are seeing here is the third full-length LP from California's own Haim sisters. Back in the 2010s, the trio dropped a debut that was not just packed with catchy pop rock cuts, but also the potential for Haim to become one of the most enjoyable groups the mainstream has to offer. Just a few years later, though, the group seemed to hit the dreaded sophomore slump with an album Something to Tell You that was weaker by every measure. But now it's a new day. It's a new album, and the trio even has Rostam Batmanglish producing on pretty much every track here, so that's something. Most of the teasers going into this thing were great too, so what's going on with Women in Music Part 3? Well, the core record is 13 tracks and 40 minutes or so, and the opening track, Los Angeles, runs like a preview of the album itself, meaning that instrumentally nothing else on this album is quite as everything but the kitchen sink, so you do get a taste of it all. Some jazzy and lovably messy saxophone, clunky raw drums, summery rhythm guitars, gospel organs, a few passages that sound really regal like a classic Vampire Weekend song, some subtle ska undertones too. The tune of the song is pretty likable, and I do like the lyrics demystifying the magic of places like LA and New York and taking them down a peg as these oases of living and art and culture and existence. But I still found the instrumental on this track to be kind of a mess and not really an endearing one. Still, the following tracks from here generally are pretty focused in terms of what sounds they want to deliver. Really, it's just a matter of whether or not the style or the idea that Haim and Rostam are running with, does it appeal to you? Does it pan out? Does it work? For example, you have the song The Steps, which is charismatic and raw and driving like a classic Lou Reed song, the warm bass and noisy drums and crunchy acoustic guitars and boogie chunky guitar leads. A chorus that would have killed it on 90s rock radio to boot. That's great. That's a highlight. That's amazing. But by contrast, you also have I Know Alone, which is like a moody, low-key, failed attempt at a dance song with a galloping beat that is very unflattering. The chorus on this track is somewhat sticky, but the ambient droning tones and pitch-shifted vocals and totally useless extra minute of nothing at the end, it's all unspeakably annoying. Listening to this is kind of like hearing Father John Misty force the song True Affection into the first leg of I Love You, Honey Bear all over again, which, funny enough, is the third track of that record too. Thankfully though, Women in Music does pick up immediately past this point with a fantastic songwriting streak and really creative instrumentals too. Loving the track Up From a Dream with its heavy, creaking rock and roll riffs, killer driving groove that contrasts nicely with the heavenly harmonies and very gentle lead vocals. There is certainly something kind of dreamy and surreal about it, especially when the shrill, screaming, almost nightmarish guitar solos start stuttering and just yelling their way into the mix. It's almost like this part of the song is a response to the call from the refrains to wake up from this dream. To a very unwelcoming reality, I guess. The angular and curious guitar work at the start of the song Gasoline reminds me of a Dirty Projectors song or two. Really attention-grabbing start to the track, but I love the way it smooths out on the hook, getting really blissful with the cycling arpeggios and just stunningly gorgeous vocal harmonies. Then it would not be a Haim record without at least one song with an overt Michael Jackson vibe manifesting itself in a very interesting way. That is essentially the song 3 AM. The groove, the vocals on this track are MJ all the way. Love the lyrics of this song as well, the sheer annoyance at getting a call at 3 AM, and I guess also feeling out of your mind because you're humoring this relationship or friendship or something that is fostering this situation. The tune, super sweet. Very catchy, but I like how the disorienting instrumental with all these weird transitions and psychedelic undertones adds to this feeling of just being woken up or interrupted or just bothered by this phone call. Then, the song Don't Wanna. Not sure if I need to say anything outside of this is one of their best songs ever. Fantastic hook, equally sweet verses, classic structure, great performance, flawless production, boisterous ending. It is pop perfection. Don't want to give up on you. With the following Another Try, we have a surprising detour into a chilly reggae number, laced with some cool synths and dubby effects, sequenced and looping beats too. The song inside of it is stellar, and the production surrounding it is great too, considering that this sound, this vibe is kind of in Rostam's wheelhouse anyway, from years of employing it in Vampire Weekend records, so no surprise with it sounding good. The real surprise, though, of this track is the incredibly skeletal, broken down and moody bridge of the song that sounds vastly different than the rest of the track. It is very difficult to provide a really stark change up in the midst of a song that works seamlessly within it. It's like a song within a song. Then another stylistic change with just how varied this album is on the song Leaning on You, which is a twangy, plucky, thumping little folk number, kind of in the vein of the Beatles' Blackbird or like some Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Love the way it develops, gets thicker as it goes along, and the insanely blown out and reverbed and bright acoustic guitar solo on the back end. It is ear-grabbing, pretty, and adds to the odd character of this record. The sad and self-deprecating hook of the song is heart-wrenching as well, and I love this line they threw in about not wanting to fuck this up and loving what we've got, but being afraid of what it's not. That's a bar! Meanwhile, the track I've Been Down is like taking some good old Americana riffs, throwing them on an acoustic, and then trying to write a Sheryl Crow song with them. The end result is pretty good. Then Man from the Magazine switches gears once again into a very raw and rambling folk tune that is kind of in the vein of a Joni Mitchell song. Part of me does wish there was more to the track, but I did love the lyrics. That was certainly a takeaway from this song for me about these gross, dismissive, and sexist interactions with men that make you feel numb and just wear you down. Then there is the track All That Ever Mattered, which is this not the most insane song on the entire record? Is it not? The production on this track is totally whacked. You have these overwhelming layers of sound effects and gated drums and ghostly vocal harmonies, trippy guitar leads. Then, every time the chorus comes in, you have this howling, screaming banshee sound just soaring over every other piece of instrumentation. I can't even begin to impersonate it. It's just like literally a scream or a howl or something. It's very disorienting at first. It's a shock. It's like, what, why? But after several listens, I don't know, I just adjusted to it and I think it sounds really cool. It's a very bold risk. It is freaky. There are noise artists and metal artists that don't even have a sound that freaky in their shit. Plus all the shredding guitar solos toward the end of the track, this song makes some of the stuff on Jack White's last solo LP sound like child's play. The final track, though, I found to be kind of anticlimactic, fucked up but true. It's got a cool sentiment to it. I do like some of the vocal work on the track, but the abrupt finish of the song combined with how bare the instrumental was, how hollow it was, just left me feeling cold. So while Women in Music Part 3 may not be a perfect record, it is certainly Haim's boldest, most well-produced, most creative, riskiest, most well-written project to date. With one fantastic song after the next, it's their best record so far. Feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this one. Tran. Zishin, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Haim, Women in Music Part 3, forever.